So we got Walmart's freight brokerage impact. Here,
Yeah.
right here, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but the owning 11 to 1,000 trucks basically is the qualifications. 5 years plus consecutive operating authority, a million in liability insurance, 100K in cargo, and you must have 53-foot dry vans, reefers, and flatbeds at the moment. So not everybody can take this freight. Um, you know,
Yeah.
most of my channels watching are doing non-CDL like hot shot box trucks. So at some point, I do think they're gonna add into the LTL space, for expedited freight. But for right now, at this current time, it's just for tractors, 5 years of operating authority. What do you feel like is gonna happen as far as them entering their private fleet into the market, along with creating a freight brokerage?
Yeah. So, a couple things. Like I specialize in open deck, so that's pretty much also what I do. But in regard to Walmart, uh, most brokerages, we don't. When you're a freight brokerage, you don't truly like single truck owner operators. I know a lot of guys don't want to hear that, but it's a lot of times that you guys are pushed out, and it's harder for you guys. So we have some plans for that. But with Walmart, they're pretty much going to be looking at taking only 10 carriers. But most of your fleets, most of your trucking companies out there are about five, right? There's a lot of
Yeah,
five truck areas or less, right? So I don't see this affecting a lot of those guys being able to haul that freight. Do I see them jumping in and taking a lot of that freight? I don't. I don't see it as any bigger influence than we already have in regards to brokerages. They've had their brokerage for a while, but now they're looking to put in there, and I think they're using it more to secure some of their own freight
yeah.
than get out there and start messing in other people's freight because that can get kind of messy sometimes, right? But I don't think it's going to have a major impact just because you can't haul their freight unless you got 10 trucks or more. Uh, and most of your carriers are looking to have basically around five trucks when you're running spot market freight, right? So a lot of
Yeah.
this stuff they're going to take is going to be contracted freight that they're securing, and they're looking for contracted carriers who can provide more than just that spot market freight, if that makes sense. Like they're going to go in there and try to secure contracted freight, and they're going to reach out to carriers to help them secure the contracted freight, which is usually done with, obviously carriers that have more trucks.
Okay.
If
What
that
do you
makes
think
sense.
about the digital integration? Do you think they're gonna have like a Amazon load board, centralized load board where there's not really any human emotion in booking freight? It's just gonna be centralized load board where you pick the rates based on what they deem is worth, or
Yeah, I think a lot of freight brokerages are going into that aspect in regards. So freight brokerages kind of do a lot of stuff. So when drivers look at freight brokers, they're like, "Oh, all you do is answer the phone." Not really. I mean, if you want to think about it, you've got sales and marketing, and then you've got finances to verify that the customers has money and they're going to pay their bills, and then you have operations to determine what type of equipment they need, and then you have dispatching. Well, the one that you can kind of push off is that dispatching and that load bidding. So they're going to secure a lot of their rates under a contract. And I believe that they're going to have a load board that they're going to put out there and allow these carriers to bid on that. I don't see it being a lot of spot market freight. Like I said, I see it being a lot of reaching out and saying, we have a lane, we have 100 loads on this lane. Uh, we'd like to secure carriers to do this lane, right?
okay,
So in regards to the spot market, I don't feel it's going to be a ton of that type of because like I said, spot market trucks are usually not 10 trucks or more, right? So
you're
if you're
right.
running spot market freight already, then it's probably not going to affect you as much.
That's fair. That is fair. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm kind of out of the loop as far as like you said. I mean, Walmart's basically a mega carrier at this point. The
Yeah.
only thing I saw that was an issue, I forgot who exactly the source was, but they stated that in the off times that Walmart kind of wanted to add that fleet size of about 12,000 trucks, maybe not the entire because they got to actually get their stuff done too. But you don't think them adding their trucks into the mix, actually taking spot freight when they got empty trucks and trailers, could affect the capacity?
Maybe a little bit, but like I said, the last thing they're going to want to do is pull some of their trucks that are company drivers out of the system and put them
Yeah.
running brokered freight and possibly lose some of their customer
Uh,
freight that fuel their stores, right? So the big aspect of having company drivers is you tell them where to go, they go get it, right? It's
yeah.
not like, well, I don't know if I'm to do this, right? So I don't I don't see a lot of their trucks entering into the spot market and running brokered freight or running that type of stuff, and possibly losing that control of what they're moving already. I think for
So
them it's going to be more an opportunity for them to snag carriers to help them with their trucks, basically.
fair. That's very fair,
And I
Sage.
think
I love that you're coming with that background knowledge. Now, how do you feel about this? Now we got truckers in the chat
yeah,
too. We're always exploring new ways to better serve our customers, like you said, and lower the
yeah.
cost to enable everyday low prices. So, do you think this is actually a negative comment when it comes to guys signing on to Walmart? Whereas they're probably trying to cut their own costs as far as maintenance and equipment, and looking to actually book out the freight to other owner operators at a lower cost. That's not really sustainable.
Um, Sometimes that doesn't work. I mean, sometimes when you say lower cost, it could be, hey, I can drop trailers in your location rather than charging detention. You can do drop and hook. We can just leave that trailer there. So lowering the cost isn't always bringing the prices down. I mean, sometimes it does. The issue is that not all the time when you reach out to the spot market, like you're going to get the best carrier that could end up saving you money, right? That carrier
Yeah.
could grab that load, be late, and now all of a sudden Walmart's getting detention charges or not, missed pickup, missed delivery fees, or they're also getting claims, cargo claims, and things like that that can possibly happen because the carrier that picked it up isn't trained the same way Walmart is, right? So it's a risk. I mean, they're going to say that because it's sales, right? You're going to say what the
Yeah.
customer wants to hear sometimes, but that's not always giving it, lowering the price and cutting the rate and doing that. Does it happen? Of course it does. But you got to be careful because, for example, me, like if I post a load to the load board, I might get, I'm not lying, I posted loads to the load board that I'll get 50 calls, and only one truck is qualified to hold it, to haul it out of 50 calls. I'm pulling
Wow.
up their FMCSA, and they've got out of service both on driver and
Yeah.
equipment. I'm like, oh god, I can't use you. Their insurance isn't there, or they've got problems on carrier 411. So, or it's just a lot of it. Could be I needed I need an English speaking person to be able to speak to. I've
Yeah.
had people
Fair.
call me. I don't speak Spanish, so it's not as easy as just posting it out. I think they're truly going to be reaching out to contracted carriers that they can help put on their lanes to secure the freight and lock them in.
Heck yeah. I like it.